Hey, what's going on, you guys? It's your boy 3 Stacks in this thing, baby. And I'm actually going to go over a deck that has never been seen on this channel before, and it is Crawlers. The reason being is because I've been getting a lot of requests for it. I had gotten requests for it in the past, but I just was super lazy with just trying to find the cards because I just didn't like the deck. I always thought it sucked, and the thing was, I didn't even know how the deck worked. And I just kind of felt like a hypocrite, so I'm like, how can I hate a deck that I've never played and said this bad if I don't even know it, when I'm the one who always says this to people: don't knock it till you try it. You never know a deck's bad until you've played it before. Then I played this deck and I was like, oh man, this deck is cool. I like it. It's actually pretty fun. And the issues that I had with it was just a little slow, and it seemed more control oriented than it was combo oriented. And I'm kind of like a balance between control and combo. But this deck has a little bit of Q combos. But the thing is, like, the combos come through excessive board presence. If you're not able to get a lot of monsters out on your field, then you're just playing a really slow tempo deck. So I actually changed it up and made the build a Prediction Princess build. And I love rituals. You guys know how I am. And you guys should not be surprised that this was the innovative twist that I would take and the direction that I would go with the deck. I actually do play some high-level monsters, quite a few in this deck, so that I never have to ritual summon her using Crawlers. And that's the main reason why I feel like people probably never ever played Prediction Princess Crawlers, simply because they're all level 2s, and naturally you have to take a ridiculously incredible neg just to summon your Terror Tray. But not in my build. My build's really consistent. It pluses heavy. It has accidental pluses and intentional pluses. And it builds some pretty nice boards. The main goal is actually just to spit out True King of all Calamities as quickly as possible. So let's go ahead and hop into the list. We are playing triple Terror Tray. This card is a combo playmaker, a combo extender, a follow-up, or recovery, and she's disruption during either player's turn. And she's one of the best cards to grind with, but not against. She's just a spot-on boss monster. She's very threatening, very deadly, very powerful. Love the card so much. And her best friend in crime, her best friend and partner in crime is Pot of Forbidden. I actually maximize and play triplets of him. You're never not seeing this card in my particular build. So it's really important that you have this card in hand and ready to go. Because every time you ritual summon her, you want to tribute summon him. Kind of similar theory to tributing Cyber Angel Ben 10 in the Herald of Perfection deck. This is the card you want to tribute off of her, because it'll give you the maximum value. You'll be able to get a surplus of advantage, or you can just disrupt your opponent's plays during your opponent's turn by looking at their hand and shuffling cards from their hand into the deck, or bouncing all their spells and traps during the end phase if they're playing heavy back row like Paleos, or just Raigeki in their field and destroying all monsters. So I find that playing this little engine right here, the Prediction Princess plus the Pot of Forbidden engine, allows the Crawler deck to do stuff that it was never ever able to do and not supposed to do before. They didn't have real draw power. They didn't have venerable board presence. They couldn't spit out beat sticks. They couldn't have spell speed 2 effects, really, without the assistance of a weak and whack trap. And also, at the same time, they just never had the abilities that, like, Pot of Forbidden grants the deck. So I find that this is the highest ceiling build. It's better than the Sub-Terror build. It's better than any of the other Crawler builds. It's just the Prediction Princess Pot of the Forbidden build is the best build. I promise you, guarantee it is. So we play those 6. Really important to see these every single turn 1. You can play your deck without them, but this really just makes the ceiling go way through the roof in comparison to how the ceiling naturally is of Crawlers. They're just such a low ceiling tier 3 slow deck. Even though they're good hands, like with Worm Baits and the field spells, it's like you don't really make crazy boards. That's why a lot of people play like a lot of traps and scapegoats and crap like that. I'm playing just straight up all gas, no brakes, turbo. And then I play triple world armor, all gas, no brakes, baby. I actually like opening multiples, and when you do open multiples, or just one of this and one of the new spell that we got from Cybernetic Horizon that could search this, you can make Galaxy Tomahawk, your whole board explodes, and you can make True King of all Calamities. Pretty much guaranteed after that, you're going to get the resources. You can Skull Dread if you need to, or you could start Nightmaring it up, get some draws off your Nightmares, and you'll probably plus harder off the Nightmares than you will off of the, what is it called? Yeah, the Skull Dread, off the Skull Dread anyways. So yeah, I just find that armor is just really broken in this deck. And also, before you make Tomahawk, you get to net a search off of this card. I like searching the trap. The trap is really broken. And it's not the original trap, not the continuous trap. The other trap that just came on 7-Egg Horizon, the negate trap, it's really good. So this card overall is a really, really powerful plus heavy card. You're able to abuse it on your opponent's turn with Terra Tray by flipping your crawlers like Spine, and setting up your chain links, chain blocking, letting the search resolve, popping cards, and then adding more cards from deck to hand. It's a really good card. And then also, if you normal summon it, you can use this effect as a Kieran against special summon monsters from the extra deck. You just bounce it and them back, and then you can use this effect from hand the same turn, special summon it, and then get its effect to search if you have Terra Tray to flip them. So you get a lot of value out of this card. You can actually grind with this card. I do normal summon this card a lot because I like to get the maximum advantage and have the disruption of during either player's turn to bounce, and the during either player's turn to book a moon with Terra Tray. It's really, really aggressive, really consistent, and it's a competitive card. I like it a lot. And then for the crawlers, we played Triple Receptor. He's pretty much just the Stratos for them. He adds any crawler from deck to hand. I like cards like these. You guys know how I like to build my decks. I prefer consistency over I guess, like more disruption. Like, put it this way, when I'm playing decks like this, I want to help myself more than I would hurt my opponent. Like, if you guys see my Volcanic deck, the Volcanic deck doesn't care about helping itself. It only wants to hurt the opponent. When decks like this, I feel that it's more advantageous and more impactful for me to progress my game state, generate more advantage, and create a pool of card economy that I can tap into and access through the progression of my game, versus just trying to put as many hand traps as possible, as many hand traps as possible, and maximize and you know what I'm saying, just as many ways that I can stop my opponent from going off. This deck can already stop your opponent from going off. You just have to make sure that you get your board set up first. So in order to get your board set up first, it's more important to get the cards that get you more cards versus taking away from your opponent, because this deck will already put stuff like Calamities and the links and the flip effects that you can trigger with Terra Tray during your opponent's turn, and the Pot of Forbidden, which is really good. So it already has those. So I really like cards like Receptor, and I like cards like Yugioh. Yugioh specials them from hand or graveyard, and you can even do it in face up or face down, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, face up or face down. I knew it. I guessed it right too, because I actually just skimmed through this one because I always thought that the whole time that it just specialed from face up or face down anyways, and I was right. But Yugioh is really good because it's a one-card link. All of their links are link 2s. 2 of them have bad arrows though, but 1 of them has good arrows. And you can also just use this as a 1 card to go into your Behemoth Fiendness. Behemoth Fiendness is busted, bro. You guys know I'm a believer in that card, and I made people believers out of that card. This card allows you to go to Behemoth Fiendness. It also just lets you grind. Like, if you need to just summon another guy face down, just so you can have a follow-up next turn guaranteed, it's fine. It pairs really good with Spine as well, because you can recur your Spine and get an additional pop for the follow-up just to clear a field. He has 21 defense as well. He's really good. But he pops monsters. We have 2 Axons. He pops spells and traps. It just really helps to be able to trigger these during your opponent's turn with Terra Tray, which gives you that surprise factor. And then we also have 2 Ranviers. He can add up to 2 Crawlers from your graveyard to your hand, which is pretty good. He's a +1 when you think of it. 1 card gets you 2. And all of them have this crazy, insane, powerful, busted effect where if they go from the field to the grave, I don't even think it has to be the field. I think if they leave the field because of a card effect, yeah, like if this card leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, just like I thought, you special 2 Crawlers from your deck in face down defense. That's a crazy plus to me, like how they can float. So basically the way Crawlers are set up, like basically the way my bank account's set up right now is like, if you don't kill these by battle, like I get to go get a withdrawal. But if you have to kill them by battle, then I just go make a deposit. And it doesn't matter. Either way, like I feel like my opponent has to play around these. And it's such a shame that these little ugly creatures that have barely any attack stats and good stats in general, like your opponent has to play around them. That's really sad. Like that they have to get rid of them by battle. Meaning like they can't pop them. They don't want to do that. But the only thing is, it does say if this face up. So if they're face down and set, your opponent can pop them and they won't get their effects off. But you fix that so easily because of Terra Tray. The deck is just so good. So they're really broken. They're pluses. Like all of them plus that way. That's why you want to play a decent amount. I would have just played 12, like just, or in fact, I probably would have played like 10. Like I would have done like that, or like 11. But I just find like you want to maximize but minimize at the same time. You don't want to play too many crawlers because not all of them are good. Like the receptor, the one that sends a monster from deck to grave, that one's only good with glow bulb. That's pretty much the only play you make with it, and that's it. Like, and I find like that's cool, that's cute. You can make stuff with it. You can go into Omega, Naturia Beast. There's a lot of cards you can make with it, but it's just like that's all it really does. And I'd rather have the crawlers that have reactive plays, like the pops, the +1, and the searcher one, and the one that special summons. The foolish one it's cute, but like it doesn't guarantee that you're gonna live for next turn, and that's the kind of sad thing. Like, because remember, I'm playing Territory. I'm flipping these during my opponent's turn, so I need to flip one that's gonna get me somewhere right now, versus like dumping a glow bulb, and I'm like, all right, so please don't kill me. So now next turn I can try to kill you with this glow bulb engraved. Like it's just not, it's not gonna do it for me, fam. Sorry, but you can play the glow bulb. I'm not saying don't play it, but I am saying that that's just, it's not how I'm playing my deck. And then we have triple Las Vegas to start off for the spells. Any deck that I can maximize on this, I'm definitely going to maximize this. This is like my favorite like ritual spell. Well, it's one of my favorites. I'm not sure what's my favorite field spell. I'm really not sure what my favorite field spell is because I just love field spells. Like I love field spells and I love terraforming. I just love consistent cards that allow me to deck in. This is like you're just playing upstarts in your deck. And then we have triple World Legacy and Shadow. Both these field spells are really busted. If you guys watch my channel and you don't know what this card does, if you don't know what this card does, you're breaking my heart, bro. You're breaking my heart. You should know what this does. I played in so many decks, bro. Like, I shouldn't even have to explain this. This Monster Reborn, this plus every turn, it's broken. But I will explain this because Crawlers, who knows what they do? Like, nobody knows about this deck. It really is trash, but the way I made it not trash. So all Crawler monsters on the field gain 300 attack and defense. Once per turn, not hard once per turn, just regular soft once per copy. You get a special 1 level 2 or lower insect from your hand and face up or face down defense. And what's cool is just this insect. So you can play some little spicy techs that aren't crawlers and you can still summon them off the field spell, which is really cool. And it has this artwork with these nasty little roaches running around, and it has the armor hand sticking out. I think the artwork just makes me itch. It makes me itch looking at it. But it has this other effect where when your flip effect monster is destroyed by battle with an opponent's monster, you send their monster to the grave. And isn't it funny that for the most part, in order for your opponent to deal with your crawlers, they have to kill them by battle because they don't want them to, get the plus to special summon too. But if they run over them by battle, it's like, oh snap. Your monster gets sent to the graveyard and it doesn't target and it doesn't destroy. So it doesn't even matter if you have an extra link. It doesn't. It's broken. I really like it. There's nothing once per turn on this field spell. And I think also the one where it's destroyed by battle, like it just says when your flip monster is destroyed by battle with an opponent's monster, you send that monster to the grave. That's not once per turn at all. That's not even regular soft once per turn. That's just every time. It can trigger 3 or 4 times on itself without playing a new copy of it. It's really busted. It's nice to have multiples when you have the targets in hand because you can kind of build some pseudo good boards and play a little bit more aggressive and fast-paced because remember I told you the deck's really slow. And we have triple Optimus Prime to search out our 2 field spells. This not once per turn, but this is, but I still play 3 because I want to see both of these in equivalents. It never really hurt to see like multiple terraformings. Because like you can obviously just go for both your field spells, or if you have multiple terraformings plus 1 of each, it still doesn't hurt. Because you can just play terraforming, get Ritual Sanctuary, play terraforming, get Ritual Sanctuary, activate Ritual Sanctuary, discard it, and then search her territory. And by the time you summon her, you just recycle 9 spells and then summon her again. It's really good. 3 pre-preps for our +1s of the deck. It's my favorite spell in the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And then we have, so the Juice and Berries and the Sauce. Juice and Berries and the Sauce. They're just the +1s of the deck. Crawlers really do need pluses because the only way that they plus through their archetype-specific cards is by accident. It's never on purpose and it's never planned. It just happens sometimes. Then we have 2 World Legacy Survivors. I really like this card. I ain't gonna lie. I only picked up 2, but it actually works fine at 2 because you can search it off of your armor, which is the level 7 dude. that you play 3 of in this list in particular. I'll read you this card because it did just come out in Cybernetic Horizons. It's very new, and it's good support, but the artwork still makes me itch, bro. I don't like seeing bugs like that. So excavate the top 5 cards of your deck, and if you do, add 1 excavated Krawler monster or World Legacy card from your hand to your hand, and send the remaining to the grave. So if you're playing a deck that runs World Legacies, this is a kind of like a generic World Legacy archetype searcher. It can search a Krawler or a World Legacy, but like if you're playing like Chalice and you have enough World Legacy targets, or if you're playing Mech Knights and you play like a whole bunch of World Legacy cards, like this is a fairly good card to play. And then also if it hits the target, the rest of the cards go to grave. So if you're playing a deck where it has like, you know, graveyard effects, you can kind of set up some chain link effects going off, snowball into some things. It's a really good card, but if it doesn't hit Krawler or World Legacy, the rest of the cards just get shuffled back to the deck. But it's actually cool that you have a lot of targets for this, so you really don't miss with it. Your field spell's a target, the armor's a target, all your Krawler monsters are a target, then you play a trap that's a target. And it can actually hit itself, but you can only activate 1 of it per turn. And then for the rest of the turn after it resolves, you can't summon any monsters from your extra deck except links. But it does say for the rest of the turn after it resolves, meaning that you can summon your calamities first and then play this. Because I'm really just trying to use this to like dig for the trap or another armor. Or like if I have to, I'll just dig for a Krawler. If that's the only target I hit, I just want to get some kind of value out of it. It's a really good card though. But you only play 2, and it is a hard once per turn as well. And since it's not a +1, like these are +1s, you're not playing 3 of it. 3 prediction rituals. Really good for really good ritual spell, and then also it has a graveyard effect to banish itself and add a copy of prediction princess monster, which is going to be another territory. And this deck fairly easily just summons territory attributing herself, or if you're broken and you have Pot of the Forbidden, you kind of just start winning. And I only have 1 worm bait. I would play 3 because the card's really broken and it's not once per turn, and it helps you to make the good links that this deck has. It just doesn't help you to go into Behemoth Fiend this, but naturally you go into Behemoth Fiend this first and then use this to make the Krawler that has the zones that point this way. So you have them in the main zone and you just have a really good setup. But I only have 1, like I said, so if I had 3, I'd play 3. That's it for your spells. Play a lot of good spells. There's really no bad spells at all. And for the only trap of the deck, I'm actually, and it's all gas, no breaks, bro. Honestly, I wouldn't even be playing any traps, but I feel like I need some kind of defense other than territory and calamities. And I really like this one because it's reactive. It's a good trap. It's basically a monster negator. So when your opponent activates a monster effect, the monster effect changes to bounce 1 of their monsters to hand, which is really good. So it's like your opponent, it basically forces your opponent to cure in their self. And it also makes their monster effect just fizzle. So if it's like a monster that says, destroy all cards on the field, you're like, bounce? Kieran, please? It's really broken, bro. I like it a lot. And the fact that it's a World Legacy and that it's searchable makes it even better. And then it has a graveyard effect that can be activated the same turn as sent. This actually can be paired really good with Foolish Barrel Goods because you can use this to set your board up in Turbo. I'm going to read you the graveyard effect. So basically you banish it from the grave, target a link monster on the field, special 1 Krawler from your hand, deck, or grave to a zone it points to, and face down defense. So it accelerates your tempo as well. So like you can use it, and that's why I think this card's really broken, because you use it as a negate plus a follow-up for the next turn. Like it literally, it's a negate that can stop your opponent from going off. Like if they use a Soul Day, you just make a Soul Day bounce herself. And then on your follow-up, you just banish this and summon a new Krawler. And then you use territory, flip it, go off. Like you just combo really heavily just off this 1 trap. I'm like, that's why I'm really like happy that I played triple world armor, so that I can see this trap more consistently. And then you have the spell that searches world armor, so you have like a little kind of like lineage of cards that can get you to this trap. And on my inboard, no matter what, I want this trap. Even if I have calamities and I don't really have monster effects to negate, I just want to have this trap ready and good to go because it has great effect in grave. It just has such an incredible grave effect. That's it for the main deck. The extra deck is 2 Inzektor Pycophyllenia. Like, bro, I didn't even know how to say her name. She's new. She came from Flames of Destruction, and she's like better for this deck than she is for the Inzektor archetype. If she's link summoned, she lets you discard a card. That can be helpful if you have this in hand because you can get his grave effect the same exact turn that it's in. It doesn't have to wait. You discard a card, target another insect you control, equip one insect from your deck to that insect, and it gains 500 attack and defense from the equip. That's kind of irrelevant. You're never really going to use that at all, I've never done it. The only time I would do it is if I have like a Mind's Field engrave and I just want to trigger the Mind's Field, summon something to her zone. Or if I have like a play to do Behemoth Venus, oh, that would be broken. But anyways, the effect that I actually like a lot is the effect where you can target 3 insect monsters in the grave, shuffle them into the deck, not the main deck, just the deck, and draw a card. So she's Daigusto Emerald. I play 2 because I actually want to make sure that they recur each other. Kind of the same reason why I played 2 Ranveer, because Ranveer adds 2 crawlers from grave to hand. You can use the first to add the second and the second to add the first and vice versa. Think of it this way. Dante adds Dante to add Dante to add Dante. Totally Awesome adds Totally Awesome. You get what I'm saying? That's why I play 2, so they can kind of loop each other. So that I never actually deck out. I never run out of main deck targets for my crawlers to resolve their effects. And I also never run out of the extra deck crawlers, which are pretty broken if you ask me. And it also lets me kind of effectively just play less of the crawlers, links, but like still be able to summon them multiple times in the same duel. Because you could just play one of each and then put them back into your extra deck and then still summon them anyways. Because she doesn't specify main deck, she can recycle the crawlers, which is really good. So she's like one of my most frequently gone into links. Every time you go into the extra deck with this deck, you normally get draws or searches. We have Behemoth Venus, a +2. It lets you spam special from hand. Foolish Burial, some stuff. You also get to when monster's flipped in his zone, you get to plus again, add a flip effect monster from grave or deck to hand. It's just a really good card. You want to abuse it as much as possible, get the maximum value that you can occur off of it. You can chain block with it in Pot of the Forbidden and really just get a +3 at that point. It's so broken. And then 1 Qualiarch, 1 Neurogenos, and 1 Synopsis. You really don't need more than one of each of these. And I'm so grateful that you can play a card like this because it's like you're still playing. Like, for example, if this didn't exist, it would just be like 1 more of this and 1 more of this. Or just like I would do like two of each of these and then 1 of this because this is like good. But it's more like in-game. You don't really just summon it just to summon it. You summon it for the in-game because it helps you to push. But like now I can play 1 of each because like I really hate that my extra deck space is so clogged by them. And I can play other good links that are like game-changing, really, really good links. So I really like her a lot. And that's the only reason I play 1 of each because I just use her to just keep resummoning them and just keep recycling them. And I summon her like every turn 1. So Qualiarch gains effects based on the number of crawlers that you control. If you control 2, your monsters get 300 attack and defense. If you control 4, all your monsters, what was it like? All your monsters, your opponent can't activate cards or effects in battle phase. And then 6, which never really happens, it just doesn't. I'm just being realistic. All your crawlers can attack directly. So if you get 6, you pretty much got game. But if you have 6 crawlers, you should have been winning anyways because you could have done so many link summons. I'd rather do a bunch of link summons with those 6 than just leave them on the field to try to use Qualiarch. I'm just saying, bro. And then all the crawler link monsters, if they're destroyed by battle or leave the field because of a card effect, they special summon 2 crawlers from the graveyard. So like these float into the grave, the main deck crawlers float into the deck. Like everything floats, bro. This deck's really annoying to like play against, to grind against. It's just such a durable and annoying deck. It's like playing against Yang Zings, but it's different. And then Synopsis, like one of these basically boosts them, both of them boost them by 300 attack and defense and make sure that they can't be destroyed by battle as long as they point. And then also 1 gives it 2 attacks and 1 gives them double damage. So you basically summon both of these, give all your crawlers 600 boost, double attacks, and double damage. And the crawlers are so little, so like when you're giving them 600, you kind of give like this guy, for example, Receptor. He's like 1,500 now. He can attack twice and do double damage. So if you keep in the field clear, you can just go 3K, 3K, which is really good. And then you can still push with these. So the deck can OTK because of Synopsis and Neurogenos. You don't really OTK that much with Qualiarch, but like I said, he's your in-game. He's like when you know you've got game, you just go for Qualiarch. But you mainly just make them because they're the safest cards to make, because you know you're gonna get that residual value out of them, because they're gonna float into more stuff and let you make more cards out of your extra deck. But they are insects, so you can recycle them off of your Insector. Then we have Skull Dread. You're making this off of your Tomahawk play, or if you wanna, if you're like, for example, going second, you can use your Tomahawk to do Nightmare stuff. But I also like to go into Griffin turn 1 as well, and just kind of have like a soft lock. Like, I'm trying to shut down monsters like in this deck a lot. Like, I'm trying to do like Calamities. I'm trying to get the Trap. I'm trying to do Griffin. I need either one, like Griffin, the Trap, or Calamities. I just need some way to turn monster effects off, because monsters just, this deck can't deal with monsters like that. That's why you gotta play like, you know, just a bunch of different cards that aren't crawlers, just like for this deck to be viable. Because like the best crawler out is the one that pops a monster, but it targets and it destroys. So it doesn't help against the X-Link Nightmare board, obviously. But Griffin's really good because you can get draws off of it, and Unicorn, you can get draws off of it, and you get draws off of these without relying on your opponent having cards. So you can do these on your turn, like turn 1 as well. I do play Cerberus and Phoenix. Like if you do the Tomahawk going second, which you do like pretty often because it's like a really good play, you get to draw a lot. Like you get to draw 4 cards, and you can still make a really awesome in board. We have the Cleafor Genius because of the Tomahawk, and the Link Spider because of the Tomahawk. Then we play True King of all Chlamydia and 1 Tomahawk. Anytime you make an XYZ in the deck, you're probably winning already. Like you're winning with this, or you're winning with this. And these are just busted. So yeah, I think that this deck was like kind of not that great before I touched it, but after I touched it, bro, I made it be greatness. I really like my Krawler build. Like I like my build in particular. I seen a lot of builds and I thought they were all like cringeworthy. I didn't really like them. I saw people trying to innovate with like Subterrors and stuff, but I just was like, nah, that's not the way. That's not the way. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. God bless you. Make good choices. Don't hurt your brain cells. And y'all be safe. Stay tuned for that future content, baby. Y'all be safe in them streets. Don't do drugs. Peace.